Good evening everyone and welcome back to One Hub Racing. This is the Pinnacle tier, round number 17, which takes us to the Japanese Grand Prix and the legendary Suzuka circuit. My name is Kieran McGinley and joining me in the commentary box as always is John Worth. Jono, how are you this evening?
I'm really good, thanks Kieran, and delighted to be back this week at one of my favourite circuits, Suzuka obviously, and extra exciting tonight because of course we've got potentially some championships up for grabs.
Yeah, absolutely, and I understand, Jono, you've got a bit of issues on your end. You're only seeing half the names of the field. Luckily on my end, I've got every single name, so you just have to point out, oh, a Ferrari is doing this, and I might be able to tell you which one it is.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit tricky for me. I think I've got 8 of the names and the rest of them are just blanks for me, so yeah, I might be struggling with names a bit tonight, but I will do my best.
Absolutely, and one person we have to talk about, Jono, is this man here. I'm running on board with him right now, Samster. Championship implication as it stands. If Donkor wins the race, Samster needs to finish in 6th place and he will be crowned the Pinnacle champion of season number 12. If Donkor finishes in 2nd place, then Samster only needs a point scoring finish, and if Donkor finishes 3rd or lower, then Samster, no matter where he finishes, will be champion. It's a pretty nice position for Sam to be in, Jono.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, pretty comfortable for him. He'd obviously love to do it here today, wouldn't he? But you know, you'd imagine it is his for the taking now at some point, even if he doesn't get it done today. But we know he's desperate to get it all sewn up, and then he can relax for the final few rounds of the season.
And you've been here twice before, championship winner, of course. Has Samster got the makings of a potential champion in the future as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I would think so. Been strong all season, hasn't he? And got all the qualities that you need to be a champion, I think. We were talking beforehand about his consistency, he's got speed and the racecraft. So I'll try not to curse him by praising him before we get underway, barely. But yeah, I think he's got what it takes.
Yeah, and he said on Twitter tonight, hopefully, tonight is the night. And, well, you're watching us live here for the Japanese Grand Prix. This could be his night, Jono. When you go into a sort of championship decider, obviously there's 4 rounds to go. He doesn't have to win it tonight, but he must be pretty on the ball then, if he really wants to, on those medium tyres right now.
Yeah, definitely, and he'll just want everything to go smoothly, won't he? He won't want the weather to upset him or anything. He'll just want a boring race. We all want you know, battles and overtaking, but for Sam tonight, I think he'll just want a boring, straightforward race to get the points he needs to get the title.
Donkor here, pressure is on him. I mean, he's 118 points off the championship lead. What sort of position, or what do you think going through Donkor's mind as he heads to this race?
Wow, it's yeah, very, very difficult position to be in. He's just got to go out and try and win the race, hasn't he? I mean, you know, he hasn't got the worries almost of worrying about the championship and what could happen. He's so far behind. He's just got to go out and try and absolutely smash it and win every race. I mean, smash it in terms of driving well and not smashing into the walls as well. So yeah, he's just got to try and do his absolute best, drive to his, you know, to his limits, but not overstep the limits, which we've seen him do a couple of times lately. And yeah, it really is win or bust now for Donkor.
And Marley then setting the fastest lap of the qualifying session, and he's had back-to-back wins, Jono. He could be a pivotal role in this championship decider tonight.
Yeah, he's looked mighty, isn't he, the last few rounds, and he set the banker there at 127.4. And as you say, he could really come to Sam's aid. Not that Sam probably needs any aid, but yeah, for Donkor it could well play a part, couldn't it? Because obviously, as we said, Donkor needs to win the race really at all costs. And Marley, on his current form, wow, it's difficult to bet against him at the moment, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have also the Constructors' Championship, which should also be decided tonight. Ferrari will become the Season 12 Pinnacle Tier Constructors' Champions if they outscore McLaren by 4 points. That's all they need to wrap up the Constructors' title. I mean, what a night for Ferrari if they could do the double tonight.
Yeah, doing the double would just be extra special, and you know, they are really going to want to do that. I think it would just add to the occasion for them, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think Matt will play the winning team role if needed tonight to make sure they get both those titles if they possibly can.
So Peter in the chat there saying good evening to everyone, and we hope you're ready for this one. 12.5 minutes to go. Those clouds don't look too encouraging, but Pete there on a 128.3. Samster in P3, by the way, medium tyres, 128.9. Matt is stepping up to the mark once again, 129.0. Reflow there. We had such high hopes for Reflow early on in this season, Jono.
Yeah, we did. He was looking, you know, after the first couple of rounds, you just said Reflow was the odds-on favourite early on, if you had to throw it out there. But it's all unraveled for him, isn't it? And I think, you know, he's lost a bit of his edge as well. Once things started not going his way, some drivers sort of rise to another level, didn't they? But I think Reflow will admit himself that he's just fallen away a little bit, made a few mistakes, got a bit frustrated. And he's just in those title hopes, which he was so confident about, as we know when we spoke to him early season. They just drifted away.
Yeah, and also one to watch for tonight as well is Kian in the Williams. Jono, you recognise him?
Yeah, Kian, so he's a previous champion. I believe he was season 10 podium tier champion. So we know Kian can be a very, very quick driver. I believe he's now on the wheel, and back then he was on the pad. So I'm not sure how much experience he's got of driving on the wheel, but well, he's already put himself up into P3 there, hasn't he? And on the soft compound tyre as well. So yeah, I think Kian could be one to watch here.
And it's going to be difficult not to mix up his name with my name, but we'll try and nurse that one. We'll try our best for sure. Ferraris are currently 4th and 5th. Pete there with a good lap time up into P2. Donkall must be a banker lap because it's a 129.9. That's not a time we're expected to see on the super soft tyres. Further around the field then we've got TK then 129.2, as I believe that was Matt actually going up to P3 now, 128.3. Brumadinho as well, 29.6. When he was asked by Odems in the drivers' interviews, he was asked who does he think is the most underperforming driver this season, and Brumadinho said, me.
Well, yeah, I guess that's a pretty decent attitude to have, isn't it? Everyone likes to think they can be the quickest driver out there. He's obviously confident, thinks he hasn't managed to deliver in his reasonably short time in the tier so far. So yeah, he's obviously confident of better things to come.
We've also got Lawrence there in 12th place, 130.1, CSS 130.125. I'm West, 130.6 on the medium tyres. White Fountain 131.5 on a set of super softs. Chopper as well, 131.7. And Jor and Ibrahim still yet to set a lap time. One person who is back though is Heskey time. He's currently P8 with a 129.5 on a set of medium tyres. Yeah,
I'm interested to see how Heskey time gets on tonight. He's obviously missed quality races this season on and off, but when he has been around, he's been really quick, hasn't he? And a couple of races he's been threatening the top boys as well on several occasions. And we know he's quick and not scared of an overtake. So yeah, good to have him back for the Japanese Grand Prix.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter in the chat, they're saying it's going to be dry. And of course that is the forecast. But, well, the forecast has been wrong in the past, Jono. But what that forecast tells us is that dry tyres will probably be running for the entirety of the race.
Yeah, it does sound like it. And yeah, rain, with all these high-speed corners, rain is really, really lethal around here. And I think the drivers will be pretty delighted if it does stay dry, because it's one of those courses as well with incredible, you know, high-speed corners, quick direction changes. You can really push an F1 car, and one of those few tracks maybe left on the calendar where you can really push an F1 car to its limits and exploit that downforce. And it feels incredible to drive around this circuit, especially in qualifying trim. So yeah, I'm glad we're getting to see these guys out there on the quickest tyres at the end of the session and really pushing to the limits.
There's Pete there on his outlap, currently in P2. Marley here is also on an outlap, I believe. Well, he's got the engine turned all the way up, he's got the ERS turned all the way up, so maybe he's going for another flying lap. Wonder if we'll see a 126 from the Renault driver. He's definitely making his mark in the Pinnacle tier as he makes his way now towards the Casio triangle and around the final quarter. So easy to lose the back end going through turn 18, and he comes towards the line. It's a 127.002. That must be hugely frustrating for Marley for it not to be a 126, but it is provisional pole by 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, and he did lock up slightly, didn't he, into the final chicane there as well, which definitely cost him those few hundredths of a second. So if it wasn't for that little lock up, he would have been dipping into the 26s.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in fact, it's 1.3 seconds. I misread that. 1.3 seconds now, the gap between himself and Pete there. But remember, you've still got most of the field who've set their times on those medium tyres. As CSS then on a set of super softs goes 1:28.0. That's still 1 second off of Marley. So we're yet to see those times from the likes of Matt F&G, Samster, Donkul, Reflow. Those guys we know will be up there. White Fountain as TK as well. Lawrence, Lukey normally does his run on the soft tyres or the medium tyre, whichever one the strategy goes to. And we're sort of expecting drivers to go for the super soft tyres. Unlike other circuits, you know, the softest tyre possible isn't just a qualifying tyre. It can be used as a race tyre, which is encouraging to see.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, we're obviously away from the ultra soft, hyper soft here, so super soft, durable enough to be able to work into a decent race strategy. And of course, it is crucial in terms of getting yourself a good grid position as well. You know, as we mentioned before with this circuit, you know, really demanding circuit, and tyre choice is everything, and you really can't exploit that extra grip on the super softs. So expect to see lots of changes in the final 6 minutes of the session once the the bulk of the grid fit those on and go for it at the end.
Here comes Pete across the line, and he goes a 1:27.8, and that puts himself provisionally on the front row of the grid. And he only becomes the second driver to get into the 1:27s. Both Ferraris are still in the pit. As it stands then with 6 minutes to go, Marley is on provisional pole position with Pete in second place. Championship contenders, Samster is in P5 and Donkul don't think has set a representative lap time just yet. He sits in P14.
Yeah, so as you say, they've obviously all got time to come, or Donkul and Sam have. The main guys that we're talking about, and but Donkul 14th, obviously he'll have another go on the quicker tyre, but psychologically you're still sat there seeing Sam above you in the list of drivers there, and so he knows he's got to go out. He's got to deliver, isn't he? If Donkul's not ahead of Sam on the grid, then it's not the easiest track to overtake on. It's going to make his job all the harder.
And speaking of the track, there's only one DRS zone, and that's across the start-finish straight. So you're right, Jono, there's not many places for overtaking. It's weird, it's such an old-school track, but the chances for overtaking are so far and few between. If you're brave enough, you can go up the inside of turn 1. You've got the Casio Triangle, where Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna collided all those years ago. Probably not the best idea to go for a move inside of turn 13. That's the spoon corner. I think Sebastian Vettel can be an omen to that. One big overtaking opportunity could be turn 11 though, the hairpin, Jono. We've seen the likes of Kobayashi make diving moves up the inside, as well as Adrian Sutil.
Yeah, it's definitely a potential to go for a move there, but it's very, very tricky because you're turning and braking often for that hairpin as well. You're taking the right-hand corner beforehand, trying to get the braking right and then make it into that obviously very slow hairpin. So it's very easy to get it wrong, and we've seen that before, as you mentioned. In real life, we've seen it go wrong, and in One Hub before, we've seen drivers get it wrong there. But yeah, you've really got to work through overtakes, which I think we all like to see. It's quite strange, actually, in modern F1 to see only one DRS zone here. And obviously with that S section in the first sector of the lap, really you have just got to follow behind through that section. So yeah, expect the overtakes to come, as you mentioned, to turn 1, or otherwise in the second and third sectors of the lap.
Mark in the chat saying good luck to everybody racing, and we could be seeing that champion crowned, as Lukey there got a little bit wide going into turn 1 there. It's so easy to try and leave the braking as late as possible going through turn 1, and sometimes when you race with the racing line like I did when I used to race, of course, the racing line didn't give you the quickest line through that corner. It told you to brake a lot earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy to lean on the racing line a bit too much, isn't it? And but there is time to gain if you can exploit it, as you say, and not follow it always exactly. So yeah, hopefully the drivers have done their practice and they know where to push the limits and where not to.
And Marley has rejoined the session, having left it presumably through internet issues, and Heskey Time has retired. I don't know where that is on tracks. There's no yellow flags out, so that must have been from the pit lane. So Heskey Time will go no higher than 10th then, currently qualified on the medium tyres. We'll have to wait and see how that develops. And this lovely sweeping camera as we see TK and the Force India there. I believe that's of Brumadinho coming out onto the pit lane there, or onto the second turn. Very, very nice camera angle there. Lovely choice of camera. Just wish we could choose that camera a little bit more often, especially when we're talking, Jono. Talking about whatever.
Yeah, it looks absolutely great, as do some of the helicopter shots we get as well occasionally. So, yeah, they really do look incredible. And, yeah, two minutes just over remaining then. So this is going to be do or die for all these drivers in the next few minutes.
Well, interestingly then, Samster has gone for a set of soft tyres. This probably will be his last run in this session. Donkel's also gone for the soft tyres, so they're going for the alternate strategy. They're going for the one-stop soft to super soft towards the end of the race. And, well, Jono, turn 1 and 2 can be a little bit tricky. Could we see a safety car in the early stages of this race? That might shake things up a bit.
Yeah, anything can happen, can't it? Turn 1, as you say, we quite often see drivers, a little bit of contact, or drivers getting run out wide. And although you think there's plenty of runoff area on the outside of turn 1, there's very little grip out there, and it's quite easy to lose the car. I certainly lose a lot of time trying to recover. So, yeah, wouldn't be at all surprised if we don't see a few incidents. And of course, if you run the soft tyre and put yourself perhaps not quite to the full potential that you could get if you ran the supers, you do run the risk of being involved more likely in those turn 1 incidents.
Sam's making his way through the hairpin now, as he now heads towards that spoon curve. He goes through turn 12, as we see him come into the picture now, as he makes his way towards the spoon curve of turn 13 and 14. Such a flowing corner here. It's so easy to carry too much speed into that corner there. You just want to attack it. You've got to be careful as well on the exit of the spoon curve. That curve can catch you out, as we now make our way down towards 130R, obviously named after the radius of the corner. Obviously it's not 130 degrees anymore, that's for sure. It's been the radius is a little bit shallower nowadays, and I think that's a benefit to all the drivers.
Yeah, definitely. It's still a really fun corner, obviously, but yeah, with the downforce that these modern F1 cars got, it's not quite as hairy scary as it used to be. And yeah, Sam's got DRS open now then, so he's just going on to start his final flying lap.
And here he is then coming through turns 1 and 2 here as we make our way through this S section. This really tests the downforce of the car then as we head through turn 3, then through 4, and these corners just keep coming at you as we head through turn 5 as Samster loses the back end slightly. He's still got to go for it though, as Ibrahim goes P5 on his one and only run, as we now climb the hill as we head through turn 7, now coming towards the Degner curves of turns 8 and 9, chucking the car in and hoping it sticks. He's run a little bit wide there. That could be an invalidation, but he's still going to go for it though as he makes his way now up the hill towards turn 10 and now the braking zone in towards turn 11. A little bit of a scruffy lap from Samster so far. It's not normally we've seen. He's only had 2 pole positions in his entire career in one hub. He could make it 3 tonight as he now makes his way now through turn 12 as he makes his way now towards the spoon curve of turns 13 and 14. Again, chucking the car in and hoping it sticks as he makes his way through turn 14. Keeping it tight to the curb there. A little bit of understeer will carry you wide onto that curb, and it's now full throttle now as we head towards the third sector and towards 130R, and in the right conditions on the right tyres with the right downforce, this is completely full throttle, and that's exactly the case for Samster as he makes his way now down towards the Casio Triangle. A little bit of traffic ahead of him there. Donkel has finished in 3rd place there, and where can Samster go? Currently P11. Can he get himself higher as he crosses the DRS zone? And it's P6 for Samster. Well, that is an advantage for Donkel, but I don't think Samster is going to be too concerned about that. Marley goes even quicker, by the way, 127.022, as I believe there's just a few drops of rain now coming down. Have I seen that right? No, I must have. My eyes are playing tricks on me, Jono. But there, Donkel P3, Samster P6, reflow out of fuel. Ibrahim comes across the line, goes from P8 up to P4. Great lap from Ibrahim then in the Red Bull, puts him onto the 2nd row of the grid. That means it's Jaw now making his way around the final corners, but he's making his way towards the pit lane as well. He's out of fuel. So, with all the laps completed then, Marley grabs yet another pole position.
Yeah, another fantastic qualifying session there for Marley, and great from Pete there as well to get it on the front row. Obviously those two on the super soft tyres. So very good session for both of those, and Donkel I think could be pretty pleased, to be honest, to be P3's best of the soft runners, isn't he? And with his championship rival down in 7th there, and we saw where the lap time went from Sam, didn't we? In that first sector it was just all a little bit scrappy, Decent final 2 sectors though to recover for 7th, and he's got Reflow there right behind him as well, separating the Ferraris. So I think Reflow will be up to having a bit of fun tonight and battling against the 2 Ferrari drivers.
Donkel P3, Samster P7, and the McLarens have really turned up today. Remember, if they're outscored by 4 points by Ferrari, they hand the Constructors' title over. But pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix belongs to Marley, and that's not the first time he's been on pole. On a great run of form recently, and he'll be very confident heading into this one. So there is your lap times then, and your qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix. Marley takes pole position. Pete there is in second. Donkel in third. That's a great lap time. He's only 1/100th of a second off Pete there on some soft tyres. Watch out for him in the race. Ibrahim in fourth. Lawrence in fifth. CSS in sixth. Samster could wrap it up today. He starts P7. Reflow in 8th. Matt F&G in 9th. I'm West in 10th. Brumadinho 11th. TK 12th. With Chopper 13th. Kian in 14th, White Fountain 15th, Jaw in 16th, Heskey Times 17th, and Lukey there reporting about his mechanics. Took him a long time in the garage there, and it ruined his chance for a final run, so he starts from the back of the grid.
Yeah, he's obviously frustrated about that, getting rolled back into the garage, and yeah, obviously just took that little bit too long to get him out, and he wasn't able to improve. So yeah, we've been talking Lukey up quite a bit recently. He's been on very good form, but he'd be disappointed to be starting at the back.
And Mark in the chat then saying maybe Ferrari might not do it tonight. I won't say the exact words, but he's saying maybe they won't be able to do it tonight. McLaren do look strong then, P2 and P3, both on different strategies. But it seems like the Ferraris have planned this one. They're both starting on some soft tyres.
Yeah, they're both on the soft tyre, and but McLaren have done probably the right thing, haven't they, in splitting their strategy as well. They've got to be aggressive, and it's definitely worked for them in qualifying. They're ahead of both Ferraris, so obviously the race is where it counts. But certainly, as far as qualifying goes, McLaren have done a good job.
Well then, Marley pulls away from the field then, as he'll lead them down towards turn 1 for what I believe is the 3rd time in a row. Can he make it 3 wins back to back and spoil Donkel's day? Remember, Donkel is P3 right now. I'm half expecting Pete to just move out of the way at some point during maybe Sector 1 or Sector 2 and just allow Donkel to get away, because if Donkel finishes in 3rd place in this race, he hands the championship to Sam no matter where Sam finishes.
Yeah, I think they need to work as a team, don't they? Initially, Pete should have the advantage being on the super soft tyre, so if they work together, perhaps Pete can tow Donkel along a bit while the tyres are good. And then, as you say, it won't be too long until the soft tyres of Donkel come in and become the quicker tyre. So at that point, the team really need to work together and reverse the positions if need be to give Donkel the best chance you possibly can have of winning the race.
Well, as we have a look at the tyres then, only 4 drivers starting on some super soft tyres, and they were all in the top 10. Samster and Reflow disqualified, so they're being sent back to the grid. That could be a tyre warming issue then for the first lap. Their tyres won't be up to scratch. 9th down to 14th there, all on the soft tyres. Obviously 11th to 14th starting on fresh softs. White Fountain, Jaw and Heskey Time on mediums. Lukey starting from the back of the grid on some soft tyres. And of course we here at Suzuka, which was built at first as the Honda test track. It's the only figure of 8 circuit on the Formula 1 calendar, and we first came to Suzuka in 1987. We have 27 laps of the Japanese Grand Prix, so we're going to be covering around about 155 kilometres. So I'm looking forward to this one, Jono, and I bet you are too for this championship decider.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I mean, we always look forward to a race at Suzuka anyway, but the championship decider potentially obviously just adds even more spice to the occasion, doesn't it? And yeah, cannot wait as the cars roll up on the grid then. I think there'll be a few extra butterflies in Sam's stomach as well as he lines up on the grid here today, knowing what's at stake.
Well, will he be able to wrap up the championship? Let us know in the chat then. Can Sam wrap it up, or can Donkel take it to the next round? We are moments away from the Japanese Grand Prix. This is the Pinnacle tier, round number 17. And is this Ferrari's day? Is this Samster's day? We'll try and keep you up to date with the points as best we can as we're waiting now for those 5 red lights to come on. Here they are for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's 5 red lights. Round 17 is underway, and what are the start side? Looks like Marley's got a great start, but Pete's right alongside him here as they head now down towards turn 1, and it could be Pete taking the lead as we head through the first corner. Marley then trying to go up the inside once again, very close between the two, but Pete takes the lead then, and the Ferraris are battling behind them as they're going side by side now through the S's. That Sauber's got to be careful then of CSS as he's battling away with Ibrahim Donkel down to P4. That's not what he needed at all, and there's an instant behind there, and I'm West as in the wall there. White Fountain as well off the track then on those medium tyres. So Pete then leads as we head now down towards the Degners, and Brumadinho is out and he's collided there. CSS was off the track, and that might have been why he's got a 5-second stop go for a severe collision with Brumadinho there. So that will be served at his next pit stop. At the moment we are still green flag racing then as Pete leads from Marley and Lawrence there. Samster right behind his teammate though, and he'll be desperately getting on the radio maybe to say move out of the way, but of course Donkel in 4th place as it stands then. Samster will be winning the championship, but there's still 27 laps to go of course, and we're not even finished with the first one as there's battles all the way happening down the field. We've got Refloat right behind Samster, and what a battle this could have been for the championship. All those races ago, 10 races ago, this could have been the championship right here as Samster and Refloat battling away. Maybe Matt's just giving Sam a little bit of slipstream as we head through 130R. That Mercedes didn't look too stable then as they headed through 130R for the very first time, and Pete was off the track then. Marley retakes the lead, and they're going side by side. There's Lawrence going side by side with Donkel. Donkel knows he can't make this a second retirement in a row. If he does, he hands the championship on a plate then as we head now down towards turn 1 for the second time in this race. Donkel up to 2nd place. That's exactly what he needed. And at the end of the first lap then, Marley leads from Donkel, Lawrence, Pete, Ibrahim, Matt, Samster, TK, Reflow, Chopper, Kian, Jewel, Hesky Time, Lukey, Ironware, CSS, and White Fountain, who's currently in the pit lane.
Yeah, so one driver down already then. A little bit messy at the back of the field, wasn't it? But clean at the front, and I stayed on board with Sam through that opening half a lap, and you can see he was being cautious. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, Ibrahim is off. I believe that's at turn 7 there. And Marley just dropped it on the entry. That's coming towards the Degner curves. Sorry to just cut across you there, Jono. You were speaking about Samster, who's right on the back of Matt FNG then.
Yeah, he is. He's on the attack now. He definitely took things careful on the opening lap. As I said, I watched him on board, but yeah, Reflow made an error as well, which drops him back to P9 now at the moment. So Sam will be pretty pleased, I think, to see yeah, long-time rival Reflow there, not pushing him too much at this stage.
Well, lap 2 of this Grand Prix then, Pete is trying to make up for lost time. He made a mistake into the Casio triangle. We just saw the end of it on the stream, and he's keen to make up lost time here as he now heads down towards the Casio triangle. Oh, makes contact with the Force India there. Is there damage to that McLaren, I wonder? He still lies in 4th place right now. McLaren are doing everything they can. They're outscoring Ferrari. That's what they need to do to take this to the next round of the championship. That's the constructors anyway. In terms of the drivers' championship, well, you can see there Samster is running in P6 with Donkel in P2. And it is in Samster's hands at this point.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, Lawrence perhaps holding Pete up a little bit by the look of it, and as I say, holding a little bit of contact. So you know, Pete's complained of his fair share of bad luck this season, but he's got to try and find his way through cleanly, and having a good look here at Lawrence needs just enough space, but he's looking aggressive, and I think Pete will want to be through him and on the back of Donkel, his teammate, if he possibly can, as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Will he try and move up the inside there? Well, he stays behind for now then. We have CSS and Ibrahim in the pits then, so that's going to promote White Fountain up to P15, but I'm pretty sure he's not overjoyed with that one. But Pete here just trying to put some pressure on the Force India. Pete was leading. It was a fantastic start from him as he went down the inside into turn 1 and took the lead away from... I've lost my train of thought. He took the lead away from Marley for just a couple of seconds there. Almost for a lap then, as that's a move there. Pete then up the inside of Lawrence through 130R, and it's 3 laps in. We've already seen a move at 130R. I was not expecting that. That's a great move from Pete, and that is trust in another driver right there as you saw it.
Yeah, that was a good overtake and clean driving from both. Lawrence gave him the room once he knew he was coming on the inside, but Lawrence coming back at him and almost went into the back of Pete there with the speed differential between the two cars. And I speak back to the inside, and it looks like Pete might get a better exit though. We can get on the throttle a bit earlier, and he'll now have the inside for the F section. And yeah, that'll be, he runs very wide. I was just going to say that'll be Lawrence done for now, but Pete makes a bit of a mess of that one. But he managed to get it all pointed in the right direction. And Lawrence, massive understeer there, which has allowed Sam to close wide up and Matt FNG to make his way through. So all of a sudden, Lawrence coming under all sorts of pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ferraris are doing what they need to do, try and make their way through the field as Samster got to the inside at the second Degner curve. Not quite there. And he stays in P6 for now as we make our way now towards the hairpin. He's looking for a move up the inside of Lawrence there. He's got to try and get the better exit with the Force India by his side. And it looks like he has. He's going round the outside of turn 12 then. He's carrying more speed. And yes, he has got the move done. Great move from Samster in the end as he makes his way towards the spoon curve. Now up to P5. And I don't think he's too concerned about Matt in front of him right now, as he's trying to put that pressure on Pete now as we head towards 130R.
Oh, no. Sorry, Lawrence and TK came together then, both cars in the wall, and definitely damage on at least one of those cars, probably both of them I think, definitely damage on Lawrence's front wing.
Yeah, there's also damage to TK as well as they both run wide at 130R. That's terrible for Lawrence and TK there. They'll have to both come back to the pit lane, and it's frustrating when I don't catch it on the stream, Jono. I just seem to miss all the action right now. Meanwhile then, off stream, Matt has found a way past Pete then with the DRS as they head towards turn 1. And Pete there was thinking to try and make a move up the inside. He was catching him on the overspeed there, but couldn't quite make it stick. So Matt FNG now up to P3, and this is bad news for McLaren.
Yeah, the Ferraris are carving their way forward, aren't they? And Matt sort of opening the path for Sam, really. He's making the move, and Sam is following him through every time. He's now up touching behind Pete, though, and looks to be one a bit quicker. But this is a risky move on the outside here, and he thinks better of it. But we saw that before and have it go into the hairpin. Will he do it again?
Here he comes then, trying to have a look around the outside this time as we head towards the hairpin. And Donkel... Oh, sorry, Pete there, round the inside, trying to hold it round the outside, but he doesn't quite have the traction anymore on those super soft tyres. They are wearing a little bit, and Samster up to P4, and that McLaren tried to hold him back as much as he possibly could. Here he goes up the spoon curve. No, he doesn't. He backs out of it this time, and he's now under immense pressure from reflow now, and these super soft tyres are starting to come towards the end of their life. You're supposed to make them last until around about lap 8, lap 9 if you possibly can. These soft tyres are pretty durable. They can last a long, long time if you treat them right. But reflow then coming now down towards the Casio triangle up the inside. And Pete's able to hold the inside line, but reflow trying to prioritise the exit then as he goes round the outside, swoops it all the way around. Great move from reflow. He's now up to 5th place there, and Pete down to 6th.
Yeah, really good move, but obviously more grip on those soft tyres at the moment, and Pete's starting to struggle now, as other drivers are on those super softs. Marley, however, he is able to maintain that gap down to 1.5, so it's come down a little bit, but he's still doing what he needs to do at the front at the moment.
Yeah, lap 6 of this race then. There goes Marley through your picture. He's leading the race. Donkel is doing all he possibly can right now. 1.5 between himself and Marley. He's running in P2. Then it's Matt in 3rd place. Then Samster in 4th. Reflow in 5th with Pete in 6th. Kian in 7th. Straw is in 8th place. Lukey in 9th. I'm West in 10th place with Heskey Time in 11th. Chopper running around as a ghost car. He's dropped out of the session, so he won't be classified if his ghost car makes it to the end. TK in 13th, Lawrence 14th. Ibrahim has found a way past White Fountain going through the first 2 turns. He's now up to P15. White Fountain puts on medium tyres a couple of laps ago in 16th, as CSS runs in 17th place as Kian trying to go up the inside of Spoon Curve. Thought he found a way past Pete, but Pete's not going to let this go without a battle. Then down the hill they go towards 130R now. No DRS here, for obvious reasons, with 130R coming up, and they're running side by side. Surely here, Pete's going to go up the inside a second time. No, he carries enough speed to get ahead of Kian there before 130R. And as we head towards the Casio triangle, Kian tries a move up the inside, but no dice for him. Marley in the pit lane then on lap 6 as Kian swoops around the outside. But that was Pete coming into the pits. He's had enough of those super soft tyres. And here comes Jaw now in the slipstream of the Williams of Kian as we head towards turn 1. Surely he's not going to try and move. No, he doesn't. He backs out of it. But Lukey is not going to let this battle go without a fight.
No, he's not. Lukey's made his way up to 7th, hasn't he? And Shaw looking strong as well on those medium tyres, so he's starting to show his pace now on the hardest compound we've got here today. And yeah, making his way slowly through this field of guys running a soft tyre. So I think Jaw is set up pretty well. Oh, as he touches the grass, it gets like very wide though, and Lukey finds his way by.
Yeah, and Kian's up there. Oh, that's a Red Bull there going very wide onto the gravel there. That was Heskey time as Jaw makes that mistake just before the Degner. And, well, he's lost 2 positions there. He now tries to go round the outside to prioritise his exit. But in the blink of an eye, he's down 2 positions, and Heskey time there, going through the gravel like that, was very lucky to come out of that the other side.
Yeah, I think, yeah, very, very lucky indeed. Many drivers have lost the car, and their races have gone no further at that point on the track. But Heskey time able to continue, and he's also on the medium tyres, so it's crucial for him and Jaw, you know, to take these tyres quite a long way, so they don't want to be picking up any wing damage.
Well, the Ferraris are doing what they want to do right now, and that is currently outscoring McLaren, but that is a little unfair to say because Pete has pitted in. He's put on a set of medium tyres. There's battles going on here between White Fountain and Ibrahim. The pits and puts on a set of medium tyres. Then that'll take him to the end of the race. So a bit of an odd strategy from Reflow. He was on the soft tyres. Maybe he wasn't happy with those tyres overall. He's gone for the mediums.
Yeah, maybe so. It seems slightly odd, doesn't it? But yeah, he's going to rejoin in 10th by the look of it. So Marley as well on those medium tyres now, and the runner driver has rejoined with clear air as well that he can now exploit. So all going swimmingly as well at the moment, as you mentioned for the Ferraris, but also for Marley there.
Yeah, the Ferraris are running in formation, and we were speaking about Bahrain. You know, these two were, you know, Matt was helping Samster. They established that very early on, and it looks like that tactic has paid off dividends.
Yeah, definitely, and I think Sam's just happy tucked in behind his teammate, who's obviously going along at a decent pace. Sam's comfortable, and we know they'll be communicating between each other as well, so they'll know exactly what's going on. And yeah, if necessary, I'm sure Matt would switch places, but at this point in the race, they're happy to continue as they are.
Yeah, as it stands then, even with Donkel leading, Samster is on the podium. It'll be yet another podium this season. In fact, if it finishes like this, I believe Samster would have his 19th podium in his career at One Hub. So, not quite 20, maybe that's for next time. But Matt is in then from 2nd place, and he'll put on a set of medium tyres. That's going to take him to the end of the race then. So these soft tyres then, they're lasting a little less than I expected, Jono.
Yeah, I think we often see that, don't we, at the start of the race. Cars heavy on fuel, but also battling hard. So you're not able to look after those front tyres, especially through those high-speed corners in the first sector. You're not able to look after them as you probably would in your practice races and your practice runs. Always find the tyre wear a little bit higher. And so, yeah, that's probably why we're seeing the guys coming a bit earlier than we would have expected.
CSS has retired from the race. Didn't quite see what happened to him on the stream. But have a look at this battle here for 5th place. I'm West, Jaw and Heskey time battling away for position. Now I'm West is on a set of soft tyres. Meanwhile Jaw and Heskey time behind him are on a set of mediums. And there were the yellow flags there. I wonder if the car is still visible. It's not. They've taken it away now. So he must have lost it at some point in the hairpin or before it. But CSS becomes our 2nd retirement of the race.
Oh yeah, he does indeed, as Heskey time gets very close to the car in front there, but manages to avoid contact. But yeah, these medium runners, they do look to have pace advantage perhaps over I'm West on the soft. But yeah, finding the way through is a different matter altogether.
Samster into the pits then from 2nd place. And this looks like the strategy's not being split at all then. Medium tyres go on for the Ferrari. And away he goes. So the interesting thing is now, when does Donkel come in? Both Ferraris have now undercut Donkel. So obviously it will take a couple of laps for those medium tyres to actually warm up. Especially on a track like this, you think that the tyres would warm up. But think about when Reflow came in. He's just set the fast lap of the race. That needed a couple of laps before the tyres actually did warm up to their best. So it might take some time, but as Reflow's shown, the pace is there on them.
Yeah, the pace is there on them, but as you say, you can't really push on the outlap. So expect Donkor to have at least a couple of laps comfortable with the gap he had as well beforehand. So it's still Donkor in a strong position in terms of coming out ahead of the Flowers after his pit stop, and then of course if he does so, he will be on fresher tyres then to take him to the end.
Well, 30 seconds is the gap between himself and Donkor, and interestingly enough then, Matt F&G has been jumped by Samster, and that was the overcut, so that's telling you then that the longer you stay out on those soft tyres, obviously if someone pits ahead of you on the mediums, then you've got maybe that lap to push as hard as you can. You'd have more pace than the medium tyre runner, so the overcuts work for Samster. He's jumped his teammate, and he rejoins ahead of Reflow whilst his teammate Matt rejoins behind him.
Yeah, I think he'll be pretty, be pleased to have obviously jumped his teammate, but be slightly less pleased that he's now got a Mercedes driver in Reflow right behind him, and we know that Reflow's going to have a go here.
Yeah, absolutely. What a battle this could have been, as Reflow's trying to go around the outside of the Casio Triangle. Will become the inside now, and Samster, well, I don't know whether he wanted that battle to continue there, but he won't get DRS. In fact, Reflow will have the DRS as we head down the start-finish straight. I don't think Samster's got enough pace on him. No, you can see the Mercedes pulling away then. I'm West here. Well, he's creating a bit of a train here. He's got dual Heskey time, and now here comes Marley. So what is that going to do for Marley's lead there, as that's Heskey time really trying to make grounds on Jaw then as we head towards the two Degner curves then. Here we go to Degner 1 through turn 8, then coming through towards Degner 2. You can see there Heskey time right on the back of Jaw. He loves to just close up as much as he can, apply as much pressure as he possibly can, and Marley here will just be thinking, when's my time? He sees Heskey time run a little bit too deep into the hairpin. He thought that was the moment he needed, but not so. Not able to get past there. Kian and Pete battling away for 10th place right now. We'll rejoin this battle then. Marley swoops to the inside, going towards Spoon Curve then, and the Red Bull runs wide then. I think he just panicked at the sight of those red proximity arrows and just gave Marley all the room in the world.
Yeah, he did. He just got a bit offline, didn't he? Braked a bit late, seeing the Renault on the inside, and yeah, finally got out of his way in the end. So that's one down for Marley, and yeah, you'd have to say Marley's going to get beat in this race. It's going to need, him getting held up by this traffic, and you always run the risk of that. These drivers obviously starting on the mediums, still out as another one gets out of his way actually. So he's now only got one car left in his sights there to get in his way. And he's got a bit of a buffer to him as well, so all looking good at the moment.
Marley will, in effect, retake the race lead as he has stopped, and Jaw and Lukey ahead of him haven't. Donkor rejoins in 5th place, importantly though, ahead of Samster, who's trying to go round the outside of Reflow as we head towards turn 1, and Kian is out of the race from 10th place. And where is that then? He's retired on from the menu then. He's lost a bit of front wing, a huge chunk of it actually. Because he must have got into an instant and decided enough's enough then.
Yeah, he's on the left side of the circuit there, near the start-finish line. So yeah, shame for Kian. His comeback ends, unfortunately, in a DNF.
And there goes Lawrence through past TK. Then, as he makes his way up the hill now through turn 7. So after lap 12 then, Lukey leads from Jaw there. But of course Lukey still has to pit as well as Jaw. Marley in 3rd place, but for how much longer I wonder. That ERS deployment goes up to 4. That's the overtake mode as we head now towards 130R. Is Marley going to try and move up the inside, is he? He thinks about it, stays tucked in the slipstream, builds up that speed then as we head towards the Casio Triangle, pulls to the left hand side, and is now trying to go round the outside. It'll become the inside for the Casio Triangle, the second part of it. And then on the exit there, you can see Marley just has much better grip out of the exit there. He's got the DRS as well, but the Haas isn't giving this one up. He's now under pressure from Heskey time as we head towards turns 1 and 2. Heskey time going round the outside. Can he make it stick? It gets onto the curb there, and the bravery pays off. Heskey time up to P3. That is a great move from him. Meanwhile, Samster's locked in a battle with Reflow. We saw this at the very start of the season, with Reflow dropping off in form then, and a couple of DNSs have dropped him out of the title fight, but he's still wanting to reignite that rivalry, even if it's just for this race. I'm West then is past Pete then, and Pete runs wide. He made a mistake going into turns 1 and 2 then, and he's actually lost a bit of front wing I wonder if there was contact at some point then, but he runs really wide onto the gravel then. That's a huge limp back to the pits. It will feel like such a long distance to get back. Worst feeling in the world when you break a front wing that early on in the lap.
Yeah, and on a track where you absolutely need the downforce as well, and yeah, this is going to be torturous for him. And what a shame after a great qualifying session and a good opening stint for the most part as well. But that is a real shame for Pete, and a real shame, you have to say, for McLaren Constructors' Championship hopes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. As it stands, then it looks like Ferrari are going to wrap this one up. Of course, we've got Luki still yet to pit in this one, as well as Heskey Time and Jaw, so it is not over, not by a long shot. But Reflow's not giving up on this battle, I'll have you know, as he heads through 130R. Luki into the pits. Reflow goes to the left-hand side as they head towards the Casio triangle. The Ferrari trying to hold it in the inside. It becomes the outside. Samster tries to prioritise the cutback as the DRS detection point is just after that Casio triangle, so Reflow goes defensive straight away then. Samster in the slipstream with the DRS, pulls to the left hand side then as they head their way down towards turns 1 and 2, and the Ferrari takes back that position then. Reflow still wanting to try and battle up the inside, but Samster takes away P4 for now. Reflow down to 5th place. That is a really, really exciting battle, and well, what might have been, Jono, between these two.
Yeah, definitely, and Reflow has got a point to prove, doesn't he? He's not in the championship fight, but I still believe he can beat Sam in a one-on-one race, and now he's got a chance to prove it, hasn't he? But that Ferrari looked mighty quick down into turn 1 there with the DRS as well, easily back through Reflow. So if Reflow's going to get it done, oh, it's going to have to be somewhere else perhaps, because he makes a bit of a mistake there as well, gets in the gravel, which will drop him just a little bit away from Sam and actually out of DRS zone at the moment.
Lap 14. We're at the halfway mark in this Grand Prix. Marley leads from Heskey Time, who's yet to stop. Donkel in 3rd, Samster 4th, Reflow 5th, Matt in 6th, I'm West in 7th, Lukey rejoined in 8th place there, Jaw is in 9th on some soft tyres, Lawrence is in 10th, TK 11th, White Fountain 12th, Ibrahim after a great qualifying finds himself 13th, Pete there, front row start for him down in P14. What a disastrous day it's been for him. And Chopper's running around as a ghost car. He won't be classified at the end of this race. We've also lost in this race Kian, CSS and Brumadinho as Donkel sets the fastest lap of the race, and Heskey Time pits in from P2 to make his one and only stop.
And Donkel's just doing everything he can possibly do, isn't he? He's in P2 there and fastest lap on the board as well. But from his point of view, that pesky Renault is 2.5 seconds further up the road, and yeah, blocking that P1 spot at the moment. But either way, Sam is doing what he needs to do as well, isn't he? In 3rd with Reflow, just dropped away a little bit now, 1.6 seconds further back.
Yeah, and that was that mistake, as you said, at the second Degner. So that has culminated, and without the DRS able to keep him close towards turn 1, he has dropped back a little bit. Wanted to use his downforce there to try and close it at least on. Yeah, made him another mistake. Meanwhile, Lukey here is closing in on I'm West here. And well, Lukey has been in good form recently for sure. And I'm really impressed by Lukey this season. It seems like he has developed over the season. It's always great to see that.
Yeah, definitely. He started at the back of the grid, didn't he? And he's found his way up to 7th. So he's up 11 positions then, which is more than anybody in this race so far. And yeah, Lukey has just developed this maturity, isn't he, in the car. And yeah, he's really come into his own the last sort of half a dozen races or so. So brilliant to see. But I'm West as well, you have to say. Been a good drive from him so far as well to put it into that 6th position.
Marley still leads then from Donkel, Samster, Reflow and Matt FNG. And I'm West is leading this 3-car battle for P6. Could become a 4-car battle as Jaw looks in the distance. Heskey Time and Jaw on new soft tyres. I'm West and Lukey on newish medium tyres. And Lukey here in the DRS zone. Does he have enough to try and close on I'm West? Not this time around. But I'll tell you what then, GP1 Pete has left the session. I wonder where he is on track. Has he made a mistake and lost something there? We'll have a look at his ghost car. Has he lost a bit of front wing? That could be throwing in the towel. And there is front wing damage. Yeah. So that is throwing in the towel then for Pete. And that could be handing the constructors over to Ferrari.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been the story of Pete's season, hasn't it? Just too much damage to the car too often, too many mistakes. And you have to say that's hurt Donkor as well the last few rounds, and that's why the Ferrari find themselves in this commanding position in the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, Heskey Time just losing the back end out of the hairpin then, but like you were saying, that is going to put a dent in their championship standings. Of course, Donkor, the sole point scorer for McLaren right now. Samster scoring 15 points, Matt scoring 10. And is that right? Have I got that right? Yeah, I've got that right. Donkor scoring 18, so the gap is more than 4 points. So as it stands then, yeah, Ferrari will be wrapping up the Constructors' Championship, and as it stands, Samster will be Season 12 Pinnacle champion. As here comes Heskey Time, down the move to the inside of the Casio triangle here. He's now got the outside line against Lukey here. They're battling. Not much room given. Oh, Heskey Time loses it. He's into the wall, and he's into the wall again. And that is Heskey Time out of the race. And he lost that back end, headed for the wall. I'm surprised he didn't retire with the first hit then. But that is rear tyre damage, rear suspension damage. Heskey Time out of the race at the final corner with 11 laps to go.
Yeah, rear left wheel off that Red Bull, and what a shame. Just tried to get the power down, didn't he? But that little bump is waiting there at the final corner to catch you as well, and it just lit up the rear tyres. And as you say, into the pit wall. Amazing that didn't finish his race off, but he was able to fly across track then into the opposite wall and out of the race.
So then the Red Bull is out of this one. And Marley coming towards 130R, 2.3 seconds is the gap between himself and Donkor. And, you know, it's not like Donkor's not putting everything into this. Marley is in just the form of a lifetime here, wanting to make this a hat-trick of wins back to back. And if he can pull it off, it will send shockwaves in the Pinnacle tier. There is a new driver around, and a quick one at that.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, Donkor, he's actually bringing that gap down very slightly, but he can't do any more, can he? I mean, a few rounds ago, before Marley joined, we'd be saying Donkor's doing what Donkor does. He's out in the lead again, wouldn't we? But Marley's come in, stamped his authority on things, and yeah, he's still maintaining that just over 2 second gap. Donkor obviously pushing, giving it everything he possibly can, but they're just trading lap times at the moment. He's not able to bring that gap down.
Yeah, the one thing Donkor can't do is retire that car. He's been struggling over the last 2 races with retirements and damage to the car. That simply cannot happen today. If it does that and he ends up in the wall, well, they'll be writing Sam's name on the trophy the moment that wheel touches the wall.
Yeah, he's in a tricky position, isn't he? Because he can't back off 1%, can he? It's all good and well saying get to the end of this race, but he's got to win it, hasn't he? And he knows he has to push to the absolute limit to do that. But he's got to keep his head here because he's on 5 lap newer tyres than Marley ahead. So as the race goes on, you know, he should have the pace advantage once the tyre wear starts kicking in for Marley. So yeah, he's got to, if he can maintain that gap right now, then in the last 5-6 laps of the race, I think he's got the potential to start bringing it down, as it does just drop below the 2 second mark there for a moment as well. So Donkor's still in with a good shot at winning this race, I think.
When Marley crosses that line, we will have 9 laps to go. Marley's still leading, and Donkor's now reeling in that gap. This is the thing, though. There's 5 laps age difference between those 2 tyres of Marley and Donkor, as Donkor sets a 130.952. And just to put that into the context then, Kimi Raikkonen's lap from 2005 still stands as the official lap record, 131.540. So we're lapping, or at least Donkor is, 6/10 faster than Kimi Raikkonen. So he can take that away, but that won't be enough for him, as Samstar picks up a 3-second time penalty. We haven't actually seen many of those tonight, Jono.
No, we've hardly, yeah, it's almost forgotten about time penalties today. And yeah, at the moment that would drop Samstar, wouldn't it, behind Reflow as well. So yeah, not ideal for Sam. It shows he's obviously pushing pretty hard.
Yeah, he's not giving up on this one. He's not taking it easy. He knows anything can happen in Formula 1, in the legendary words of Murray Walker. It always does, as he makes his way now towards the hairpin. You've got to say there's a huge amount of pressure on Donkor, but at the moment he's handling it well. 1.1 seconds is the gap. He is literally doing no more than he possibly can. It almost reminisces of Massa in 2008. He's doing everything he possibly can in his power, but at the moment it's just out of his control.
Yeah, I think that, you know, that 5 lap different tyre life, I know they're on the mediums, so they're pretty durable, but 5 laps is still a reasonably significant amount, isn't it? And he is bringing that gap down and down. And I think it's actually pretty close at the moment as to who you'd rather be at the moment, Donkor or Marley. I know we always say track position is everything in F1, but with the pace Donkor's got and the tyre advantage, I think he's an equal favourite, I think, to win this race with Marley at the moment.
Yeah, and we were saying there, Sam's picking up a 3-second time penalty. I thought he would be sort of relaxing with the gap 12.1 behind Donkor, but clearly he's still wanting to push.
Yeah, he is, and I think he hasn't really got much choice because he's got Reflow that 1.8 seconds back, and Reflow's not going to give him an easy time, is he? If he has a chance, and Reflow's going to go for it. So I think Sam wants to keep him at bay and just doesn't want to risk the car going wheel to wheel with Reflow if he can help it.
So Marley then might start to be struggling on those tyres. He shouldn't be struggling just yet, as Lawrence then 130.5 on a set of soft tyres. He's currently running in 10th place then, 16.4 behind TK. So he's obviously come in, put on a fresh set of soft tyres and decided to go for it. We haven't seen anyone on the super softs at this late stage then wanting to go for the fastest lap of the race. That hasn't happened just yet. But Donkor here still trying to close in on Marley then as we head towards 130R for the 20th time. And we head now down towards the Casio Triangle. It's going to be close between these two. And as you were saying, Jono, would you prefer to have track position or the DRS? It's an interesting one. But we'll see what Donkor thinks about it then. He opens the DRS then. And look at the gap now. It's just too far behind at the moment. But maybe with enough of those laps then, enough of those lap times as well, he might start to close that gap with 7 laps to go.
Yeah, and we saw the rear of the car getting really, sideways out of the final corner from Donkor there again, and we've seen what can happen firsthand there when we were watching Heskey time get it all wrong. So, he really has got to tread the balance between pushing hard, but as you mentioned, don't bin the car. He's got to keep it on track till the end.
As he heads through the Degners now, going towards Degner 2, and that gap to Marley for Donkor just excruciatingly staying at about the same distance right now.
Yeah, it is. Got in there the carrot, isn't he, to try and chase down. It's crucially under that second mark, so he's got to do that. He's got to keep it within DRS zone. Just makes it easier for him to stay close and hope that perhaps the tyre wear advantage opens up opportunities late on. As you say, other than that, it looks like to be difficult for him to get the move done into turn 1, where we've seen lots of other drivers go for it. Just not sure he's got the grip to get a good enough exit to make the move into there.
Right, it just seems it's one of those battles where you think, I'm matching him absolutely everything. I think I'm going quicker. I've set faster laps. Why can't I close in on him? This could be the dirty air taking into effect as Donkor losing the back end just slightly through turn 18. He won't want to do that too many times, but he has closed on him quite a bit. I say quite a bit, it's a 1/10 of a second down that straight, but a 1/10 of a second is, more than it was last time around. Yeah, it is, and but I think at this point the championship won't be in Donkor's mind. I think he'll be absolutely loving this as a racing driver. We absolutely love trying to hunt down a car ahead, don't we? And especially when it's for the race win. So at the moment, I think Donkor will be fully focused on the gearbox of that Renault ahead and trying to find a way through, and he's just half a second back now. Lap 22 of the Japanese Grand Prix here at One Hub Racing Pinnacle tier. Marley leads as we head towards the hairpin of turn 11 with Donkor in second. It's Samster third, Reflow fourth, Matt Finji in fifth, I'm West sixth, Lukey seventh, Jaw is in 8th, TK 9th, Lawrence in 10th, Ibrahim in 11th, White Fountain 12th. Pete and Chopper are running around as ghost cars. They will not be classified, and we've lost Heskey Time, Kian, CSS and Brumadinho from this race as Lukey picks up a 3-second time penalty as we now head towards 130R with the race leaders. Yeah, indeed, and Marley keeping his cool at the moment as well, isn't he? We haven't really seen him under that much pressure the last few races. He's just been storming away, but he's definitely under pressure now, big pressure. So yeah, for the first time we might get to see just how well he deals with it when a race win is at stake. Yeah, he could be on for a shot at 3 wins back-to-back, Marley, but he's got to hold off Donkor as we head down towards turns 1 and 2. That gap is coming down, and well, time is running out for Donkor. He might be able to grab the race win, but for Donkel. It just looks a little bit out of his control at the moment, with Samster looking very comfortable in third place. Even with that 3-second time penalty for Samster, it's going to drop him to P4, and at that point it's still in Samster's control.
Yeah, Samster is doing what he needs to do, isn't he? And yeah, Donkel's got to just not think about that at the moment. He's just got to focus on what's ahead of him. But he seems able to keep within this sort of half a second to 8/10 mark. But I think the dirty air, you know, at Suzuka, it's difficult to follow with the dirty air, especially that first sector, and on traction as well. He looks to be just struggling. And yeah, Marley, good where he needs to be. He's good out of the slow corners at the moment, and that's making getting any closer really difficult for Donkel.
Yeah, it seems like Marley's car is more designed for the straights. He's gone for the setup that prioritises these straights, and that could be a good thing. Even if it's one notch down on the front wing, it's working for Marley, because along these straights here, he's just about keeping ahead. Getting those exits right is absolutely what he needs to do. But Donkel has got a fantastic run on him as we head towards the Casio Triangle. I think this is the closest he's been all race now. He's got to get turn 18 right, but he loses the back end on the exit of the Casio Triangle, and all that time he gained there has been lost. They'll have the DRS as Marley moves to the right hand side, then moves back to the racing line. That's completely legal as we now head towards turns 1 and 2. Riding on board with Donkel as we head through turn 2 now coming towards the S's. 4 laps to go in this one as Marley now trying to hold on the racing line. Donkel is so close to that race win. This would be his 6th race win of the season if he can pull it off. He has had more wins than Samster as it stands, but with the wins has to come the consistency, and that's exactly what Samster has shown. And Donkel still trying to put that pressure on Marley as we head towards the second Degner.
Yeah, you could just see the understeer he was suffering with there through the first sector, but despite that, he was still able to keep with the Renault. Despite, I could see a lot of understeer in the car with the lack of downforce on touching behind, but he is close. But we've seen lap after lap now. Out of turn 18, he just gets very, very poor exit. So he's going to get a good run here, but he doesn't go for the move. But he might have to think about doing it somewhere else, as we just saw into Spoon, perhaps. Or otherwise perhaps be a little bit less aggressive on the throttle out of turn 18. It might actually be quicker.
Here they come then towards 130R, and Donkel's in the slipstream of Marley as they head through 130R now. Marley goes to the right hand side as Donkel goes to the left hand side. They head down towards the entrance of the Casio Triangle, and Donkel tries to back out of it now, trying to prioritise his exit. And he's no wheel spin here, there's got to be. And it's a little bit wide, almost on the grass there. He's really trying to push the car now. Donkel in the slipstream with the DRS. Marley as close to the wall as he possibly can be as he heads now down towards turn 1. Trying to go round the outside. Has he done it? Yes, he has. Great move from Donkel. He takes the race lead away from Marley here. And that might be a crucial move. Samster 15.5 seconds behind. It might not be enough for Donkel, but that would have been personally satisfying for him.
Yeah, that was a great move, wasn't it? He controlled the traction a bit better that time and corrected a little bit of oversteer. And as you say, he was millimetres away from going onto the grass there, which could have been race ending. But he kept his foot in it, he risked everything and swept past Marley. Just about got it stopped into turn 1. And great move, and he'll be absolutely pushing now to try and break away. As you mentioned, the Renault quick in a straight line. So crucial now that Donkel tries to build that gap as much as he possibly can before they get into the third sector.
Well, we're 2.5 laps left to go as we head towards the Spoon curve. Let's have a look at another battle down the field then. I'm West and Lukey. There's a battle for 6th place now as we head towards the Degners. And the Williams here has seemed to be a thorn in the side of Lukey, Jaw and all those in the midfield. But he's done a fantastic job today.
Yeah, he's done an absolutely brilliant job. He's been under pressure for a lot of the race, hasn't he? But he's been in that 6th position for a long, long time now. And yeah, he'll be looking to bring it home, won't he? He's obviously got Lukey, though, chasing him down on 2-lap pressure, medium tyres. But yeah, been a brilliant drive up tonight from the Williams driver.
And it's been a brilliant drive from Lukey as well then. 2 laps to go. Donkel leads from Marley and Samster. As it stands, they're doing the double. Ferrari and Samster will be winning both of their championships. We still have 2 laps to go and anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. Samster just about keeping Reflow out of range as well. 1.4 seconds the gap. So Samster balancing perfectly at the moment. Aggression and caution. And
I'm West is off.
Out of trouble.
Oh, we were talking about how consistent he was, and on the exit of the Casio Triangle, he's lost the car completely, hit the wall, And he's now down to 8th place. Has he got front wing damage, I wonder? I'll be very surprised if he hasn't then. But yeah, such a shame we were talking about that. It's great showing today. But I think, amazingly, he's recovered with that with very minimal damage.
Yeah, it looks to be very minimal damage, so he's very lucky to get away with that, I guess, and still be 8th place on track. But that corner has been the difficult one, hasn't it, for the drivers? Getting that traction just right on now wearing medium tyres looks to be really, really tricky.
Marley's got a good run on Donkel here as we head towards 130R for the penultimate time this race. And this will be a little fun battle for Donkel to have as we head towards the Casio Triangle. Marley going around the left-hand side then. Donkel has the inside. He'll try to park it on the apex. And Marley's trying to go up the inside. He's taken the lead back then from Donkel. And Donkel losing the back end there. Came very close to that wall that's already claimed one racer today. As we head now down the final straight for the final time then. As Donkel tries to go up the inside. He's trying to make the move work there, but it hasn't quite done it. Donkel stays in second place for now. And you're just sort of thinking, don't blow it now. You've done so well this entire race. The last thing you want is to crash out from the lead or battling for the lead. And I wonder that he's not going to give up that position. Not a chance. And Samster here in 3rd place. Well, with that 3-second time penalty, the worst he's going to finish is 4th place. So we'll have to keep an eye on it then. But there's Marley heading through the Degners there. And Marley retaking that lead then as we head up towards the hairpin. And Donkel is not going to let that go then. Didn't want to try and move up the inside there. But I know Donkel. We all know Donkel by now. He's going to try this move, surely.
Yeah, you think he'll surely go for it. I think that's why he was so aggressive into turn 1. He thought that might be his last chance. And it looks like perhaps the straight line spin advantage Renault appears to have might be the difference here. But Donkel, he is within range, isn't he? He's going to have to go for... He's going to have to send it into the final chicane. That's his last chance. He's going to go for the win, surely. He's lined up perfectly here through 130R.
Here he goes then to the left-hand side as we head towards the Casio Triangle for the final time. Who's going to take the race win here at the Japanese Grand Prix? Marley's just done enough there. Donkel can't quite do it. He loses the back end and Marley comes across the line to take the race win away from Donkel. Fantastic battling between the two of them. But the headline from the Japanese Grand Prix is surely this. He's been dreaming of this for a long, long time. Samster's going to come across the line and he's going to become the Pinnacle Tier Season 12 champion. He is the champion. It's a huge moment for Samster. Congratulations to him. And with Matt F&G finishing in 5th place, Ferrari, it seems, I believe they have wrapped up the Constructors' Championship. They've done just enough to outscore McLaren today. So it's a fantastic day for Samster and for Ferrari. The rest of the field then, Reflow was promoted up to 3rd place then. Lukey up to 6th place. What a fantastic drive from him. Starting P18 up 12 places. I'm West recovering to 7th place there. Good drive from him. And Jaw in 8th. TK 9th with Lawrence in 10th place then. Ibrahim, well, he started high up the field. He got that front wing damage. And he finishes in 11th place now. White Fountain making his way towards the Casio Triangle. He is the last of the runners to finish there. Not been a great day for White Fountain as he makes his way towards the line. Goes around the final corner. Marley is your race winner for the Japanese Grand Prix. But your Season 12 Pinnacle Tier champion is Samster.
Absolutely, and congratulations to Samster and to Ferrari as well. And you have to say, over the course of the season, thoroughly deserved from Samster. He's had everything required, hasn't he? And pretty big margin of victory in the end in the championship. He's had the consistency, he's had the racecraft, he's had the pace when he's needed it. He's known how to keep out of trouble. And yeah, while his rivals have fallen by the wayside, through incidents or just not hooking it up week in, week out, Sam's done exactly the opposite, hasn't he? He's just always been there or thereabouts. If he isn't winning, he's been right towards the front of the field, and he's shown everyone how it's done this season. Thoroughly deserved. So Samster, as you say, Pinnacle Tier Season 12 champion.
What a fantastic day for him. And 4 points was the exact gap between Ferrari and McLaren, so they have done it. And what a moment for them. They cannot be caught in either championship now. The celebrations will be going long into the night as Samster's already celebrating in the chat. I'm pretty sure there'll be drinks all around. But just to go through the final results then. Marley 3 wins out of 3 for him. Donkel in second, battled hard towards the end there. Commiserations to him. He's shown the pace there. Refloat in third, Samster fourth, with Matt in fifth, Lukey sixth, Iron West seventh, Jor in eighth, TK ninth, Lawrence in 10th, picking up the last point. Ibrahim finishing on the lead lap in 11th, White Fountain a lap down in 12th, with Pete and the rest of them there not being classified at the end of the Japanese Grand Prix. Well, Jono, a champion has been crowned in both constructors. What will the last 4 races bring us?
Oh yeah, I mean the gloves will come off now, won't it? I think they're all going to want some fun. Reflow's going to want to win some races. Doncool has got a point to prove, and I have to say, obviously Marley, great drive to win the race, but Doncool as well, brilliant character after a bad run of races to turn up today and drive like he did and give his absolute all, going for the overtake there right at the end of the race for the race win. So fantastic drive by Doncool as well. Samster, though, obviously, the man in the moment, and Ferrari team in the moment as well. We mustn't forget Sam's teammate Matt as well, who's been consistent all season as well. He's had a victory as well along the way, and they've just worked brilliantly as a team, and that's what you need to win the Constructors' Championship, and that's what they've done. And Sam has come a long way from when he first joined One Hub Racing, and he's just got better and better and better, and I don't think even he would have expected to be as dominant as he has been this season. So yeah, been brilliant drives all round today, and obviously great track Suzuka as well. It delivered us a fantastic race, and we've got champions crowned in the drivers and constructors.
And Sam in the chat there saying the commentators should invite me for an interview, and he was told save that for Sunday. And Jono and Nick will be there on Sunday for the late night talk show, and obviously I'm guessing you'll be inviting Samster along to that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
What gave us that idea?
He will be in the talk show, and yeah, by the look of it, he's going to have plenty to say.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Sam and to Matt as well for wrapping up the Constructors' Championship. And so we have a bit of fun towards the end of the season as we see who could be the rivals for next season, who will get themselves promoted and who will get that dreaded relegation. It's all to come. Make sure, though, you do subscribe to One Hub Racing. Make sure you click the notification bell as well to make sure you're notified every time we go live. Make sure you tune in now to the Pinnacle tier. They're just coming towards the end of their qualifying session. And, Jono, last few races, I'm sure the drivers are going to have a little bit of fun now.
Yeah, cannot wait. We're going to see, the gloves are going to be off. There's going to be lots of overtaking, lots of battles, and everyone's just going to go out now to try and win some races, aren't they? And we've had this midfield scrap going on all season as well. So although the drivers' championship has been decided, there are still positions and points to play for further down the field. And we've seen just how competitive it is down there. So I'm expecting some fantastic racing to bring us in the final few rounds of the season.
And I hope you'll be joining us for those final few rounds. And we hope to see you again soon. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I've been Kieran McGinley.
And I've been John Worth.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.